There are two kinds of burnout, and most advice only treats one. We're going to talk about dharma today. I want to describe something to you, and I suspect a lot of you are going to recognize it immediately. You rest and you still feel hollow. You clear your to do list and you still feel behind. You take a vacation and somehow you come back feeling like nothing actually changed. If that sounds familiar, I want to tell you something that took me years to understand clearly enough to put into words. That is not a workload problem, that is the D in mood eye. And most stress management advice has no idea what to do with it because it's treating the wrong problem entirely. If you're new here, welcome. I am Marcelin Bailey, creator of the Mood Eye Framework, five ancient wisdom traditions built into one stress relief system. And we've covered the M in Mood Eye and mindfulness and the U in Ubuntu in the last two videos. And I've linked both in the description below. Today, we cover the D in Dharma. Dharma is an ancient Indian philosophical concept, often translated as one's true path, one's righteous duty, or one's aligned purpose. It's not a static label, and it's closer to a compass, the sense of rightness that emerges when your actions are aligned with who you actually are. What I find most useful about Dharma in the context of the Mood Eye framework is that it gives language to a category of suffering that Western stress management almost entirely ignores. It's the suffering of being in the wrong direction, even when everything looks right on paper. You can have the title, the salary, the respect of your peers, and still be in a state of dharma burnout. Why? Because none of those external markers tell you whether the work is actually yours. Now, let me draw the distinction as clearly as I can because this is the single most useful thing I can give you today. First, workload burnout is a quantity problem, too many hours, too many demands, not enough recovery. And the fix is structural. You rest, you delegate, you set boundaries, you incorporate better systems. This kind of burnout responds well to conventional stress management advice. Dharma burnout is a direction problem. It doesn't matter how much you rest if the underlying activity is misaligned with who you are. You can optimize your calendar perfectly and still wake up every day carrying a low hum of wrongness that no amount of sleep touches. The tragedy is that most of us have been taught to treat every burnout as the first kind. We rest harder, we system harder, and the exhaustion persists because we're aiming all our solutions at the wrong target. If this distinction is giving you language for something you felt but never named, subscribe to this channel because every week I drop a new pillar of the Mood Eye framework and hit the subscribe button as well. It only takes 2 seconds and it means you won't miss what's coming. So here's what the D in Mood Eye looks like as a practice this week. 3 steps, just 3. Recall 3 moments from the past month when you felt fully alive, not productive, not efficient, fully alive. And these moments don't need to be dramatic. It could be a conversation, a piece of work, a moment of focus that felt like coming home to yourself. Write them down before they fade. And even 1 word per moment is enough to hold the thread. Then find the pattern. What do these moments share? The type of contribution, the people involved, the quality of attention required. What do they share? Because that pattern is not a coincidence. That pattern is your dharma quietly pointing you toward the direction that is actually yours. Now, I want to be honest about something. I've had to do this exercise, this very same exercise, more than once in my own life, and it has never once been comfortable. Why? Because recognizing a misalignment between what you're doing and who you are is not pleasant, but naming it is the only way through it. So, next week, I will talk about the A in Mudai, and that's alignment. Why is there a kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix? And what Asian community harmony philosophy has to say about it. I'll see you then. I'm Marcelin Bailey. As always, take good care.